If it's broke, no sweat, we'll fix it or take it apart. And if you score something so nasty that your fussy everyday traders won't even look at it, fear not, just bring it on over. Leave it to me and my boys to find the right buyer.
So Grandpa Buckwall says hello.
Riz's face breaks into a broad smile.
That old rascal. I thought he'd croaked in the mines a long time ago, but old man Bachfall's still alive and kicking, you say? Me and him have been through a lot of interesting scrapes together, and, oh, all the weird and wonderful things we've acquired. Bachfall wouldn't send his regards along with just anyone. You must have done him a good turn. And because of that, old Riz is going to give you a special discount.
You gain a 5 PF discount. Okay, let's see what you have to offer. Pirate chainmail, auto pistol, staff of endless flame, melta charge, all shield, modified pistol, large medikit, breacher boots, grimoire, carnage. What is this? Ooh, range 18. Look at that. Wow. Heydari weapon. So let's see. Can I sell? I don't know. We'll see. Can I sell? Yeah. Ah, yes, I can actually sell. Ooh. So let's see. Oh no, I thought I can sell. Let's try one more. Shotgun. No. Where did it went? I'm guessing it's adding it to cargo. Fine. Thug. Ooh, goods. Don't look at me. Don't. I'm not here. I'm not taking anything. Absolutely nothing. So we need to keep looking for that persona non grata. Ooh, who's this? Gordisk Skatov.
The flabby man in worn clothes is sighing sadly over a glass of murky booze. Only when he looks up at you do you notice his eyes, large, piercing, and full of sorrow, a stark contrast to his unkempt appearance.
Could it be that someone actually wishes to keep me company? Allow me to introduce myself. Gordiy Skatov, architectural historian.
You look deeply despondent over something. What happened?
Gordiy sighs heavily.
Here I go again, pouring my heart out to have you disappear in 10 minutes just like everyone else before you. But all right. Here is the story of Gordiy Skatov, the unluckiest historian in the Imperium. I was born 2 sectors away from here. My family was quite influential, which allowed me to dedicate myself to my great passion, the history of Imperium architecture. I spent a number of years studying every scholarly work there was to find on this art, and then, once I had inherited my family's fortune, I traveled and documented the development of architectural thought on different worlds. Until one day, oh, that accursed and blessed day. Until one day I came into possession of something quite special.
Gordiy pulls what looks like a book or an album with a homemade leather cover out of his bag. Both the pages and the binding look well worn.
Here it is. My Undoing. This is an authentic booklet titled Dwayne's Design, one of the thousands that were printed centuries ago, in the times of Footfall's construction.
What a curious read. Please tell us more.
As Kasia takes a shy step forward, Gordiy smiles and shows her some of the faded pages.
Footfall's founder, Lord Parzimus, was obsessed with his creation's grand future. This booklet describes in detail what Footfall was meant to become upon its completion. Dozens of asteroids turned into glorious palaces and temples. Massive bridges spanning the void itself. And the marvelous flying buttresses. The archivolts of the exterior arches, the elegant arrangement of balusters. And the interior. Polyphore is 10 stories tall and more than a kilometer long. Cyclopean light tubes that catch the light of Furibundus and use it to brighten the halls in the hearts of the asteroids. Stained glass windows and mosaics, bas-reliefs, and statues.
Engrossed in his own description, Warday stands up and starts tracing the outlines of arches and galleries with his hand. Heydari blinks sleepily, barely suppresses a yawn, and starts looking around with a bored expression.
Keep listening.
Emerging from his reverie, he catches himself, blushes slightly, and loudly flops back onto his seat.
I apologize. I got carried away. But you must understand how deep an impression this booklet left on me when my young self picked it up. I simply couldn't think about anything other than Footfall. I was ready to give my life just to see this incredible station. And of course, no matter how hard my friends and loved ones tried to dissuade me, I still gathered all my savings and set out on a journey. It is no easy feat to cross 2 sectors, especially for a common citizen, albeit one who has some resources at his disposal. I had to change one ship after another, at times being forced to stay on transfer worlds waiting for a vessel headed in the right direction or for warp disturbances to subside. The voyage took me a total of 107 years. In real spacetime, of course. For me it was much less than that, somewhere in the neighborhood of 30 or 35. And then, after all those years, having spent all of my savings, I reached my dream. And what did I see? A dump in place of the exquisite portico. Metal anthills clinging to the columns. The marble tiles pilfered by paupers to use as cladding for their hovels.
Warday hangs his head.
It's been a dozen years since I came here, and I still haven't recovered from the shock. I had suspected that not everything from the booklet would exist in reality, but I never expected to see Footfall in such a sorry state. It is like stumbling upon the horrible, decomposing corpse of your beautiful beloved.
Argenta's gaze darkens.
The warp, like a shameless thief, is guilty of stealing the short span allotted to servants. But what sense is there in spending half your life on such an enterprise, only to then lose your spirit and waste the remaining half on nothing at all? So then ink and paper too can lie and cause pain.
Kasia sighs sadly.
Does this mean that all I have ever read about will one day disappoint me with the ugliness of reality?
That is a tragic indeed. I wish I could see Footfall the way its creators envisioned it.
Now that we can only dream of and yearn for. Be that as it may, I just wanted to say, thank you for hearing me out. Over the dozen years I have spent on Footfall, not one person has hung around long enough to listen to my story to the end. It's such a delight to have shared everything that's been weighing on my mind. I'm poor as a church mouse, but I still have something to offer you as a token of my appreciation. After studying the booklet thoroughly, I discovered something interesting, a ciphered message scattered throughout its pages. Taking the form of a riddle, it describes certain places of interest on Footfall. I believe it is the work of the booklet's creators. What if these riddles lead to something? A wondrous discovery? I will gladly share what I've been able to learn with you.
Riddles?
A flash of burning, almost childish curiosity brightens Kasia's austere countenance.
Have you not tried to make this wondrous discovery for yourself?
I have, of course. But I'm an old man who is blind in one eye and can barely move his legs. I never found anything, but that doesn't mean there's nothing to find.
Tell me about the places these riddles lead to.
The first location from the riddles isn't far from here. It's a bridge that was supposed to go through the center of this district and into the void toward the neighboring asteroid. Only a couple of its spans were built, and even those lie in ruins. Still, if the cache survived after all those years, it is there somewhere. The second location is the Lantern of the Great Cathedral. A lantern is a small tower on top of a dome. You've seen Footfall's atrium, haven't you? The whole atrium is just the nave of the former little cathedral. The Liege's entire so-called palace would have fit inside what was meant to be not but a single room. The Great Cathedral, had it been built, would have been even bigger. But, alas, its construction was just getting underway when Dwayne died and the work stopped. The lantern from its dome, however, had already been built and survived. It was brought inside the atrium and dubbed the Chapel of St. Drusus the Warrior. And that's all I know. I wish you luck in your search.
I must take my leave. Good luck to you.
A new challenge for me?
The decanter used to contain a cheap amasec, which, for the sake of attractiveness, has obviously been enriched with a deodorizing agent.
Ooh.
Rough day?
You have no idea.
I just might. That's the second bottle you've downed.
Jae Heydari. Falco sends his regards.
And what does that unholy scion of a Grox and a Brahan want from me this time? Oh, wait, I don't really care. My sole plans for tonight are drowning my grief in a sea of Amasak.
We'll give you grief, all right. Get out!
Don't think so, Ashmag. And tell Falco to come himself next time.
Heydari, I am tired of your mess. Out! Get some sleep. We'll talk about settling up later.
Okti Shireen, light of my eyes. Can't you see my soul is full of sadness? Have you no heart at all? Let go of your material concerns and let me grieve in peace. Have we met somewhere before?
The woman looks at you with the glassy eyes of drunk, and you notice the 2 empty bottles that had been keeping her company before you arrived. She looks completely out of place in this dingy, smoky bar. The fancy attire, the abundance of jewelry, the implants plated with precious metals. Her appearance not only screams wealth but also audacity, for only an audacious person would flaunt their wealth in a place like this.
Greetings, Shireen. With whom do I have the honor of speaking?
I am Rel, trade envoy of House von Valencius. No, call me Rel.
Well then, here's to our meeting. It doesn't take a genius to figure out that you're someone special, since you've been granted an audience with the Liege of Footfall himself. It's always a pleasure to make the acquaintance of someone powerful. And the timing couldn't be better. Jae Heydari at your service. Professional trader, shrewd commercial broker, and, may he steal my tongue if I'm lying, the most honest dealer on Footfall. Nonetheless, we all have our problems, and at times even one's many merits aren't enough to solve them. Perhaps it would be no trouble for a person with your kind of power and standing to assist someone with my kind of predicament.
What kind of cargo was stolen from you?
Goods of incredible rarity, Shireen. But it's not just that. 24 of my people lost their lives in the impenetrable emptiness of the void to acquire them. I cannot leave their families with nothing.
Ordinary smugglers do not dress so ostentatiously or behave so brazenly, and they are unlikely to spoil the mood of the Liege of Footfall with their mere appearance. This woman lost many people to obtain these rarest of goods, and to get them back, she turned to Vladaym Tocara, the patron of all cold trade in the Expanse. Her cargo can be nothing other than xeno-artifacts, creations of the enemies of humanity, branded with heresy.
Are you asking an upstanding citizen to be party to the trafficking of xeno-artifacts? Or I should have you executed on the spot for such a suggestion. Your cargo is nothing but foul xeno-heresy. I wish to ask you a few questions before I decide.
Ask as many as you wish, Shireen. Trust is the key to a successful endeavor.
So what do you need help with?
You see, Shireen, there's one cardinal rule on Footfall. Anything goes as long as it doesn't get in the way of business. I'm someone who's been able to exploit that rule to the fullest. And in recent years, I've hit it so big, I've become a speck of sand in someone's green eye. They used to throw small wrenches into my dealings here and there. Well, now they've decided to really put their backs into it. Some rats stolen my cargo and dragged it off to the seediest part of the Shadow Quarters. A crummy place even for connoisseurs of Footfall's unique atmosphere. When I asked the Liege for protection, we had a mutual misunderstanding. I believe Vladaym, in a most lamentable fashion, has forgotten his duties as guardian of the downtrodden and wronged. So I'm in desperate need of a new one. And you, Shireen, fit the bill perfectly. All I need is for you to drop by one dark corner of Footfall Shadow Quarters and pound it into the thieves' heads that taking Heydari's property carries certain risks.
Jae appears to be a serious operator on Footfall. The Liege's refusal to help means the loss of a potential ally. So Jae is encroaching on his turf. If Vladaym is not responsible for the disappearance of Jae's cargo, he will certainly benefit greatly from it.
I suspect that Vladaym wants to keep the cargo out of your hands, and I want to put him in his place. If the Liege is neglecting his duties, I shall become your patron. So I suspect he wants to keep the cargo out of your hands, and I want to put him in his place. If the liege is neglecting his duties, I shall become your patron.
May the Exalted One bless you and your progeny. Then here's what we'll do. We shouldn't be seen together before we make it to the safe house. I'll head there first. I'll take my own special route so I won't be spotted. Right. Here, that's where those ashmags are keeping the stolen cargo. Out the bar, over the bridge, and to the left. There in the depths you'll find a small courtyard, through which you can get to the place. I'll be waiting nearby. You...
I won't tolerate weakness.
Alright, the persona non grata, it's gone. So that was the... okay. Oh, everybody upgraded. So 1 rank available. Okay, what do you have? Ooh, look, Benji, you get... what do you get? Let's see. The shotgun attack has 10% additional armor penetration, inflicts 15 level of bleeding on target hit. Run. For 1 round, allows the Cybermastiff to move through enemies. While moving, it inflicts 5 levels of bleeding on all adjacent enemies it passes. Each enemy affected increases the critical hit chance of the Cybermastiff next. This is not bad. Okay, let's see. Each cell traversed by the Cybermastiff increases damage dealt by 2 attacks and lasts until Overseer's next turn. Ooh. The Overseer chooses an enemy in their line of sight within 5 cells of the Cybermastiff. The Cybermastiff immediately dashes to that enemy and performs a special attack. The target suffers double rending damage and must pass a toughness test with the -. This ability removes the effects of the apprehend and protect. Consolidation. The Overseer immediately dashes to their familiar within 5 cells. The Overseer can move through allies and enemy but not through obstacles. This movement does not provoke attacks opportunity. If the familiar is a Cyber Eagle that is soaring, the Overseer gains 5 MP instead. Growl. The Cybermastiff lets out a terrific growl. For 1 round, all enemies in a 2-cell radius deal, or this, depending on their familiar number of wounds, the Overseer or familiar gains special. I like this one. No. 5 levels of bleeding on all adjacent enemy it passes. This is also good. So this we're gonna go into the favorites and we're gonna do this one. We're gonna make him move a lot. Yep, and we're gonna do, what about bite? For now we like this one. Or we do this one. I like the fact that the further it runs, each cell traversed by the Cybermastiff increases the damage by 2. So if we make him run really far away, like 6-7 cells, he's gonna get like 12. Yeah. Idira, what do you have? Ah, this is your eagle. Let's see. Stabilize. Allies in a 4-cell radius around us gain 12 temporary wounds and 9. So this is a good one. You can send the Raven, someone is injured, and keep him or her alive. Enemies in a 4-cell radius around the cyber suffer 9 to 23 warp damage. And 1 stack of perplexed. This is cool. Consolidation. The Overseer immediately dashes to their familiar with 5 cell. Within 5 cells. The Overseer can move through. Okay, complete the cycle. The psionic power relayed through Cyber Raven. This round is relayed once again. Advanced tracking. Whenever the Overseer relays a psychic power, a random enemy in a 4-cell radius around the Cyber Raven becomes immobilized for 1 round. If that enemy is already mobilized, it suffers 1 stack of perplex. Huh. It says unavailable, required. Relaying. Or bonding. Let's see. Creates an area that lasts until the start of the cycle. Next turn, all allies within area gain 6 dodge. Pyromancy. Pyromancer is a master of flame, a psyker who is able to create searing infernos out of thin air. Pyromancy is one of the most spectacular and destructive form of psychic ability, and those who face a pyromancer in combat are often reduced to naught but a pile of chert. Pyromancy focuses on manipulating living flesh in biological process. Pyromancers can heal wounds and alter physical. Let's do this. This is also interesting. And this. Sensory deprivation. The target makes a willpower resistance test. It succeeds. The target is merely blinded. Dominate. Target must pass, or their next turn they will spend all their movement points to move as close as possible towards the cycle. Prescience. The target gains 6 intelligence or bonding. Creates an area that lasts until the start of the cycle next turn. And all allies within that area gain. Yeah, the problem is I want to keep them pretty far away. The psychic power relayed through Cyber Raven. This round is relayed once again. Does it mean I cannot? Dashes to the family. I like this one. Let's do this one. Good. Argenta. So what do you have? Claim the bounty. The bounty hunter makes a free single attack with the selected free single attack. This attack always hits, does not end the bounty hunter's movement, but deals only 40% the bounty usual damage. After each third enemy killed by claim of bounty, the bounty hunters recover 1 charge of hunt down the prey. If claim the bounty kills a target marked as prey, the bounty hunters receive 2 APs. Ooh. The bounty hunter's next attack. The bounty hunter's next attack this turn will have additional effect. Deals an additional ballistic skill bonus damage. The target armor will be reduced. This piercing shot. The bounty hunter's next attack during this turn will have 100% over penetration and 8% armor. The next attack that hits a target marked as prey. This is also cool. The idea is this is for free. And if it kills, it gets. We go with this, claim the bounty. This is what you get. Kibellah. Death Whisperer. The assassin makes an attack that does not count towards the limit of attacks per turn and does not block the assassin movement, but deals only 25% of the assassin's usual damage. If the attack is successful, the target suffers the hemorrhage. At the beginning of each of the target's turn, they will suffer 8 randing damage that ignores armor and deflection. This is interesting. Interesting. Elusive damage. For 1 round, the assassin becomes the lowest priority target for enemy attacks and gains. Yes. This is totally because I want to bring her as close as possible. But I don't want her to be the one attacked. Poised to strike. The assassin makes an enemy suffer -10 armor. Ooh, yes, this I take this one. Elusive shadow. Bulwark. Until the start of their until the start of the next turn, the vanguard gains damage deflection against range attack equal to the number of stacks of unyielding beacon on the vanguard. Additionally, the vanguard becomes immune to push and force movement until the vanguard gains so much number of unyielding beacon stacks. Whenever the vanguard parries an enemy attack, they immediately make an attack of opportunity. We can try this. The vanguard and all their allies in a 3-cell radius around them gain. Oh, this is also the affected targets suffer 50% less damage from the next attack. This is powerful. Yeah. Ooh, we have, okay, so we take wall, and here we have what can we pick? Oh. Okay. Ready to serve. Shield mastery. A shield only occupies the slot in a single weapon. No, that's not me. Better to die for the Emperor while under 40% wounds. Imperial. This is interesting. Defensive maneuver. Whenever the wielder successfully uses shield bash, which you don't have. Instant retribution. Whenever the wielder successfully blocks an attack, they immediately use shield bash, which you don't have. Power armor. All allows the wearing of power armor. I already have that. All allies, excluding in the current party, they do not falter. Suffer melee superiority. All allies affected by Brace of Impact gain an extra turn with 0. Or scatter. No. No heresy. Imperial Wall characters gain 10% crit chance and 10 armor against Inox and Demonic.